The human heart is the organ that pumps blood throughout the body, via the vessels of the circulatory system, supplying oxygen and nutrients to the tissues, and removing carbon dioxide and other wastes. Pumping the blood through the arteries, capillaries, and veins is the major function of the heart. It maintains the proper circulation of blood. The human heart functions throughout a person's lifespan, and is responsible for the survival of living beings. The heart is almost the size of a large fist, and weighs between about 280 to 340 grams in men, and 230 to 280 grams in women. Location of the heart. The heart is situated between the lungs, in the thoracic cavity. The name of this area is mediastinum. The cone-shaped heart base is, at the top, behind the sternum, and the great vessels are entering or leaving here. Types of circulation. The heart circulates blood mainly in two ways, pulmonary circulation and systemic circulation. The pulmonary circulation. In the pulmonary circuit, deoxygenated blood leaves the right ventricle of the heart, via the pulmonary artery, and travels to the lungs, and then the oxygenated blood returns, through the pulmonary vein, to the left atrium of the heart. The systemic circulation. In the systemic circuit, oxygenated blood leaves the heart, and travels through the left ventricle to the aorta, and from there enters the arteries and capillaries, where it supplies the body's tissues with oxygen. There is also another type of circulation, called coronary circulation, in which oxygenated blood is supplied to the heart. Layers of the heart wall. The three layers of the heart's wall are, the epicardium, external layer, the myocardium, middle layer, and the endocardium, inner layer. Epicardium. It is the outermost layer of the heart. Myocardium. It is the middle layer of the heart and conducts the pumping action. Endocardium. It is the innermost layer of the heart and thus covers heart valves. Chambers of the heart. Right atrium. The two big caval veins return blood to the right atrium from the body. The upper vena cava carries upper body blood, and the lower vena cava carries lower body blood. Blood flows into the right ventricle from the right atrium, through the right atrioventricular AV valve, or the tricuspid valve. The tricuspid valve consists of 3 endocardium flaps, or cusps, strengthened by connective tissue. Left atrium. In the left atrium, blood comes from the lungs, through 4 pulmonary veins. This blood flows through the left atrioventricular AV valve, into the left ventricle, also known as the mitral valve, or bicuspid valve. When the left ventricle contracts, the mitral valve prevents blood from the left ventricle to the left atrium. Right ventricle. The tricuspid valve closes when the right ventricle contracts, and the blood is pumped through the pulmonary artery, or trunk to the lungs. The pulmonary semilunar valve is at the junction of this large artery and the right ventricle. Left ventricle. The left ventricle walls are thicker than the right ventricle walls, allowing the left ventricle to contract more vigorously. The left ventricle, through the aorta, the body's largest artery, pumps blood to the body. At the junction between the aorta and the left ventricle is the aortic semilunar valve. The left ventricle's contraction force, which also closes the mitral valve, opens this valve.